What is going on? It's your Uncle Steve here. It is Friday brunch time. What will the Falcons do when they take their first road trip of the year up to Motown to see if we can go 3-0? Let's do it. Hey, what is going on? It is Friday, Falcons Friday. We are here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining me for the Friday brunch. Y'all come on in here and take a seat. If you can, grab what you can, grab your food. Today's meal is sponsored by the good folks at Chick-fil-A, as I have some nuggets here and a nice little shake that we're going to do today. You all are cordially invited to come in and let's talk about these Atlanta Falcons and what we're going to do starting Sunday at 1 o'clock up in Detroit. Thank you for joining me. As you're coming in, don't forget, hit the like button if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, hit the like button for me. If you're in the Atlanta Bird Gang, I appreciate you. So, I mean, let's just basically get started. When we were here last week, we were wondering how the Falcons would do against a Green Bay team that put up 38 points against Chicago in week one. And observations since then to kind of figure out what kind of team this is. I think this is going to be one of those teams that is going to have to fight and claw its way to wins. And I harken back to last year. I think last year was somewhat of the same mentality, but with lesser talent. Is that a fair statement? I think it is. That lesser talent on the team. So we probably lost some games we shouldn't have lost. Could have probably dominated a few games if we were a little bit better. But I just feel like this particular team is one of those that they're saying, you know what, it's not going to be pretty, fans. We're going to put you through ups, downs, roller coasters from quarter one all the way to quarter four. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to deny our effort. And I think that's what you got out of Atlanta last week. 25-24 win against Green Bay. We did some good things, of course, in the fourth quarter. There are things in the first three quarters that you kind of look at and say, okay, let's see if we can clean some of those things up. But that's fine. It feels much better cleaning up when you're 2-0 and you have that win in hand. Of course, a lot of talk this week, actually a couple of bullet talks this past week. One, I would say number one, about where in the world is Kyle Pitts and when are we going to get him involved in the offense? And of course, the never-ending saga of our third-round quarterback pick from last year, the very underrated in some people's minds, super overrated in other people's minds. But as I always say, folks, the most polarizing person in North American sports is the one who gets under center called the quarterback. good or bad, he's going to get tagged. And for Atlanta, that's Desmond Ridder. So it was start real quick with Kyle Pitts. I was not a fan in 2021 when we made that pick. But I also understand with the circumstances that year that you still had Matt Ryan. We weren't quite sure that year whether we thought he could hang on for a couple of years or not. So by the time we made that draft pick of Kyle Pitts at number 4, remember, Julio was still intact. Calvin Ridley was still here. And we got the great Thunder Thighs Mike Davis away from Carolina to come run the ball for us. So the thought was that was going to be a good enough offense to maintain and possibly compete in the NFC South. Well, we all know what happened after that. Julio went on Uncle Shay Shay's show and pretty much doomed his career here in Atlanta. Calvin Ridley, amongst other things, gambling issues, suspended him for the year and put him out for mental health stuff that particular season. So we were left with Matt Ryan, and thank goodness they had the foresight to say, you know what? While we're making all these transitions, let's go ahead and get him out of here. Not saying get him out of here like he's the worst thing that ever lived here in Atlanta, but it's just time to turn the page. Fast forward 2 years later, you end up with Drake London on one side, and Drake did some good things last week. You brought in Mac Hollis, who still to this day, Mac, if somehow, some way you hear the sounds of my voice, brother, they robbed you. That was a touchdown. I don't care what the rules say, and I know everybody's told me the rules, so I hear you. That was a touchdown. You got Jonnu Smith, who had a very nice game, put his time in, and you have another guy that seems like he's ready to take on the mantle of most popular Falcon, and that's Bijan Robinson right now. So where does that leave our unicorn? Where does that leave Kyle Pitts? For those who want to immediately jump to the let's get rid of him, let's let him go, I'll say push on the brake, pump the brakes just a little bit, because even if Kyle Pitts isn't involved with every play in the offense, he's dang sure a decoy. And while, yes, he might be the most expensive decoy in football, but he is someone also that you have to account for as far as the defense is concerned. So I understand the concern of the fans. I get where everybody's going. I understand it completely, but I wouldn't give up on him quite yet. I say we still got some squeezing to do out of that orange from Kyle Pitts, and I do think he's going to have a couple of days this year where we're going to look back and say, "Whoa, I'm glad we didn't get rid of him." And I haven't heard any grumblings from his camp. Most of the time when you hear people dissatisfied, see Justin Fields in Chicago, and they voice their opinion, or someone in their camp voices their opinion, and that stuff jumps out at you. But when you're 2-0, things are looking up. You actually look like you might be competitive for a playoff spot, a legit playoff spot, not 6-10 and all the tiebreakers went your way, wild card spot. It tends to change your attitude. Now, eventually, we're going to have to figure out a way to get him involved, no doubt. But for now, I just have a feeling Kyle is just going to ride that wave. You're 2-0 and everything's going good, just ride it. And he'll get his passes, y'all. I still think at the end of the day, he's going to get a couple of touchdowns and be very significant for this team in the red zone. We're 2 games in, and I get it. We're 2 games in. So with that same energy, I transfer over to the underdog, the Rocky Balboa of the Falcons, per se. Mr. Desmond Ridder, the quarterback of our team. And I know just saying the name Desmond Ridder makes people, you get both ends. You get one end that says How is this guy out on the field? And you get the other ends that you got people with pom-poms, bulletproof vest, and everything else ready to defend him to the end. I'm still in the middle, folks. As long as he winning games, all that other stuff doesn't matter to me. Just win, Desmond. Yes, there was a time in the second or third quarter where I was sitting there saying, ooh, doesn't look like he's going to come around. And then that gene kicked in, that leadership gene, that competitive gene kicked in the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh my goodness. Let me extrapolate this out for the season and see what we can get out of it. Are there still things that Desmond can do better? Absolutely, folks. For everyone that's ready to dump on folks for having critiques about Desmond and stuff, I get it. I love that you're Falcon fans. Great job. Awesome. But that flea flicker throw was underthrown. That, the pass, I will say this, the interception, I don't think that was his fault. Offensive line's got to do a better job. He got knocked the mess out when he got hit. So I'll give him that. But we're still learning, y'all. We're still learning. No need to fret. We're 2-0, man. No need to fret. So I'll give him his opportunity. And I don't want this to become the Desmond Ridder show. That's not what I'm all about these Atlanta Falcons. So my question to you today in the brunch, first road game. I know heard a lot about what people do when the home games are here, whether you're tailgating, whether you're at the game, what section you're in, and all that good stuff. What do you guys do on the away games? It's the first away game of the year. Do you cuddle up at home and just get your wings and get ready at 1:00? Do you go to friend's house, congregate? Is there a party since this is the first away game? I know some people probably still tailgate in their own ways for the game just to get that atmosphere. But what are you all doing? What are y'all doing for the game? Let's see what everybody's gonna do for this Detroit game here. Let's go to the chat here. False start Falcon. What is going on? Say, rise up, them Lions fans already got them excuses rolling. Yeah, I know they have a lot of injuries, man. So I know that's very convenient. We've had the Joker out for a couple of weeks, so we've had our excuses too. We're still 2-0. Dondre is in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in the lounge. And again, as you all are coming into the lounge, please make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't to Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate it. Those of you on Facebook, please hit the like button for me. 330 is here. He said, "What's up, Uncle Steve?" On the treadmill, but in here, man. You're a bad man on that treadmill. I appreciate it. I do that stuff too, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I listen to my buddies. If I start naming names, everybody's gonna get mad. But obviously my Southern Silk boys, Smitty and Berto and Big Low. A lot of times, if I go walking in the morning, I'll go and listen to their, whether they're live or replays. I know in the morning I'm pretty much the only one live, but just to get a chance to kind of listen to what everyone's talking about, get a feel for the fans and see what the atmosphere is going into week 3 here on the road. But thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Lisa Shepard's here. Say, hey, Steve, on to week 3. # beat the Lions. Absolutely. Facebook users here says, Uncle Steve, what's happening up? What's going on, Facebook user? Good to see you. Eric Parker's here. Says, what's up? Hey, Eric, how you feeling? Cousin James is here. What's going on, James? And brother Ray as well. What's up, Steve? Scott Glover, man. Good to see you, Scott. Say, what's up, Unc? Defense and better offense cohesion is what will put us over for the win on Sunday. I mean, the offense, to me, has been the part that I've just been kind of when is the last time we've been able to say this, y'all? And I mean this. I have more confidence in our defense than I do our offense. And I'm not saying we aren't doing good things. You'd be foolish to see what Bijan is doing as a whole. But eventually, as with most things, people are going to catch up eventually. I hope they don't, but people are going to catch up to it. I'm a little concerned more offensively than I am defensively. And let's see, because this is a pretty good test in Detroit. I don't want people to sleep on Jared Goff. I'm not telling you he's the next coming, but he's probably the best quarterback we've seen so far. He will be. Jahmyr Gibbs, now that you know David Montgomery is a little banged up, Jahmyr will probably get the majority of the carries. And let's not forget, he was only a couple of picks away from Bijan. So it's not like he's a slouch. Don't overlook him. And what's my buddy's name? Brown, the wide receiver. I want those parts of him. It's going to be a big test for the secondary. So this is by no means a pushover game. Miss B is here. How you doing, Miss B? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you so much. Millie Bills is in the house. What's going on? My brother John Harris is here. What's going on, brother? Say keep the passing attempts at 25 to 35 a game so that I can get a good sample size and Ritter can get a feel for the game, get the bad interceptions out your system early. And again, yes, on paper that looked really bad, but you know what, folks? He got hit. I can't say that enough. Yes, he had a couple of interceptions. That Quay Walker had one dead in his hands. The other cornerback had a chance to get one. But yeah, you also have to protect this man. I cannot sit up here and bash him and criticize the progression of Desmond Ritter if he doesn't have adequate pass protection. And that's been mainly our road graders side. And they were pushing around Chris Lindstrom. Definitely been pushing them around McGarry. Now, that being said, I'll take them any day. Y'all ever notice on the main runs, like the fourth down we did last week, they don't go to the left side. They go to that side. So it's not like you can take them out, but they've got to do better with that pass protection. Winston is in the house. What's up, Winston? What's going on? Unc and chat. Yes, please chat. Smash the like button. Appreciate it. Thank you, Winston. Christian Graham is here. What's going on, Christian? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Travis Preston is here. What's going on, man? Say, let's get this win. Now, give me my theme music. Boy. Russell White, what's going on, Russ? Good to see you, brother. Say, why does it seem like he is just going through the motions on his routes, half speed? Talk about Kyle Pitts. Yeah, now that's something that somebody should call him out for. They actually should. Yeah, somebody pointed that out. It is fair, and cameras are everywhere. People see that stuff, man. But I can understand too. You get frustrated if you're a playmaker and you're not getting the balls in your hands. You're going to get frustrated. I'm not saying he's right for not running the routes completely, but he wants to contribute. He knows who he is. He knows the expectations from him, but you can't do anything if you're not getting the ball. So I also understand his point of view from that. Russell always said not too many Falcon fans in Seattle. Russell had a chance. I had a chance to meet him last week, and my buddy, I don't know if you're all on Facebook and got a chance to see. I got to see my buddy. I hadn't seen him in 31 years since I left the Fort Lewis area up in the King County, Pierce County area up in Seattle, and Russell was along for the ride, and he was one of the guys that matter of fact, he's the only guy that had an Atlanta Falcon jersey in the group. It was great to meet you, brother. And hope you guys get a chance to come back. And Russ, anytime you come back, just let me know, brother. Lisa says she's heading to Detroit now. Good job. I know you always represent up there. Eric said he's going to be chilling at home watching the game on Sunday. Bruce is in Uncle C's Lounge. What's going on? Bruce says, hi, it'd be cool if the Falcons went back to the run and shoot. Yeah. Now, in order to do the run and shoot, you got to have some runners and some shooters. So, and we got the runners. I don't know about it. Oh, man. My brother Rusty is here. What's up, Russ? Said, really want to beat the Lions. Dan Campbell might be a nice guy, but I think he's cringe and corny. Hope Bijan Robinson has another huge game. We are going to make the league respect us. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I really do. I don't, as much as I know their pass rush with Aiden Hutchinson is going to be pretty decent, Detroit's defense doesn't scare me. They don't scare me at all. And then with losing Gardner Johnson, that's a big blow. Dan Campbell, I've said it before, Dan Campbell just reeks of Dan Quinn isms. You're going to bite off your kneecap. We're going to play tough. We're going to this. All of that stuff means nothing if you're not winning. And folks, I'm sorry. 9-8 season is not enough to make me think you've arrived. He says all the great stuff. He probably is a great player coach. No doubt. But tell me the history of player coaches in the NFL. So it's good for the moment. But Millie Mills says, I'm going to say until he ain't, Ritter will be fine. Millie is consistent. He's been saying that from the beginning, folks. And I'm going to stick with mine, Millie. Yeah. That's even as much as I know there are folks that are ready to say, ha, see, look what he did in the fourth quarter. Ha! You non-believers, you doubters, you haters. That's my favorite one. You haters of Ritter. Okay, he did it one game. Let's somebody asked the question in Facebook, and it was a fair question, but it was a premature question. Do we sign Desmond Ritter to a 5-year contract? That's like, first, can we get 5 games? Really, all of the criticism and all of the, whether you think he's going to be the next guy or whether some folks think he isn't, it's not fair until you get a year's worth of work, folks. That's why that 4-game sample size we got last year was very unfair to Desmond. It's unfair to judge him on that. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you go to work and you perform great for the first 4 months on the job, and you can try to extrapolate it out a year, but I wait and see before I give you the promotion. And in this case, for Desmond, the praise. That was a great comeback this past week. Absolutely. And every quarterback wouldn't have been able to do what he did. Facts. But I still stand my ground to say, hold your horses, hold off on the Super Bowl hotels. Let's see how this works out. Because I want team success. I'm not worried about whether Desmond is going to be a superstar. I just don't want him to mess up the machine. Are you really not excited about what you see number 7 doing on the field? And then when he comes off the field, number 25, get mad because he ain't got the ball and he run for another 30, 40, 50. I mean, this really has an opportunity. If we can get this 3rd win in the NFC, folks, this will set up perfectly. Not to say the Jaguars game isn't important, but boy, you set yourself up great at the beginning. 1 division win, 2 NFC wins. Man. Facebook user says, I hope we can find Pitts this weekend and our defense can get a few sacks and pressures on the quarterback. Gotta pressure golf. Got to. Hey, out of your Falcon mind, what is going on? That's probably John over here. I say, Uncle, I'm about to hop on a work call. Just dropping by to show some love, and we'll catch the replay later. Run those likes up. for everyone's favorite uncle. 3-0 incoming. And again, y'all make sure you got to check out John and Mike. They were on last night with my brother Tip from A1 Forever. Make sure you check him out too. But John and Mike, man, I'm telling y'all that those are guys that I kind of always watch them at work because they're right in between a time when I can literally look at the screen and see and just not only good information, man, but just entertaining, man. Mike's only flaw is he was supposed to hook me up with that multicolored mic. And I talked about that once before, that microphone. So Michael, you and I may be at odds if you don't tell me where to get that. But y'all make sure y'all check out of Your Falcon Mind, man. Please subscribe and like the videos over there. RJ Falcon is here. Good afternoon, Unc. I'm tuning in as always. Thank you, RJ. Appreciate you. Christian says, I agree with you, Unc. I have more faith in the defense. The only issue I have with the offense is the play calling. For example, we were in the red zone in the first quarter, and Arthur kept calling play action plays, which he should have gave the ball to Algier. I lost my mind. You had the pass interference call in the end zone. You have 1st and goal at the 1, and you're getting cute. I just don't think we're that team that can be cute. There are very few teams right now in the NFL that can be cute. I would say when Kansas City was on all cylinders, they're one of those teams. Philadelphia, they've had some bumpy roads early because I'm telling you that Minnesota defense, they put some hurt on Jalen, even though I know they ended up scoring a lot of points. So there are not a lot of teams that can be cute. I just think I would almost just say, I'll take the chance of you saying, Lindstrom, McGarry, give the ball to Tyler or Bijan and just see what the defensive line's going to do. I think 3 out of 4 times you're going to win that battle. So, yeah, you can't be too cute, man. Can't be cute. Q's in the house. What's going on, Q Lavender says, Uncle Steve, what's up? Sorry I'm late. What's the topic? Sir, the topic is, what are you doing for the game? Where are you going to be? I know this is the first non-home game. What are you guys going to do to watch the game? And just, yeah, that. I haven't talked about myself. I'm going to be in the man cave awaiting the that game, hopefully run from church and get home in time for kickoff and get a chance to see what's going on. Yes, that's right. Russell has a nice tattoo. He had a real nice tattoo of the Falcons. That's a pretty big point. I can't do tattoos. Russ, they tried to talk me into doing the tattoo. I don't even know if Chuck was part of that. I think we were in the barracks. And it's one of those times, with your Army buddies, you're young and you're, a little out of your mind. And the guy's like, let's go down to the tattoo parlor and get, I was like, I don't know. Thank God I didn't do that. Sean says, what's up? Headed to Detroit tomorrow. Yes, Sean will be there. He'll be there with Lisa. Speaking of my Southern Silk brothers, my buddy, Big Low Country Sports. Y'all already know him. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Big Low Country Sports. Like the videos and check out some of this past content, man. Some of the most entertaining shorts in videos that you're going to find, you find on the Big Low Country Sports channel. So y'all make sure y'all check him out on that. So I know he's going to be chilling out for that game this weekend as well. Christian says, Dan Campbell gives me DQ vibes with all the hype he brings. I say the same thing. Same thing. Russell says 28-34 Falcons, and I'm glad he did that because I was going to take the second half of the show. I wanted to see what you guys are going to be doing, but now that we've reached 1:30, what is your prediction for the game this week? Falcons, Detroit, first game on the road. Detroit got a couple of missing pieces, offense and defense. Got some folks hurting. Really don't know what the effect of the Okuda return is going to be. We're hoping it's going to be magical. Get an interception, a pick six, take it back. What's your prediction for the game? Give me a score. Give me a key point to the game. Sean is here. What's going on, Sean? Sean is the man. Dave in the house. What's up, man? Say they got some injuries, so we got a chance. You know, is it crazy? Is it crazy for me? I'm one of those fans, David, that I almost want the team to be at full strength. Two reasons. When you talk a little stuff with the opposing fan base, you never want them to come back to, oh, yeah, but you know, so-and-so was hurt. Watch and see. Packers fans, oh, y'all know Jones was out, so y'all, you're going to hear it. So I almost wanted them to be at full strength in Detroit. So when we do beat them, there'll be no excuses. Q says, even if he loses a game, he's still fresh and has a lot to learn. This is true. This is true. David says, I'm with you, Steve. He's been all right. What he did for me is I will now give him a chance to give me more information to change my mind. And that's it, folks. We aren't even a fourth into the season yet. And there are folks that are claiming, that are making victory laps about their assessment of Desmond Ridder. There are literally folks, as if I can steal my buddy Big Low's term, get naked for Desmond Ridder for 2 games. One game you could argue that he really was not a factor, but he didn't give the ball up. And last week, you definitely have to give him his props. I gave him my game ball last week. I think he did a great job. Any other quarterback, I'm not saying any other quarterback, every quarterback couldn't have made that comeback, and he did. So I give him credit. Y'all make sure, again, as you're coming into the Uncle Steve's Lounge, y'all push the like button for me on YouTube, also on Facebook. Make sure y'all do that. I appreciate it. Maddie, what's up, man? Said Ridder has heart and has the full support of the team. But Maddie, every quarterback should. If I have a quarterback on my team that doesn't have heart and isn't getting the support of the team, that's a problem. What's going up in Chicago? That is going to lend itself to some problems. Because you got to have your team on, and you got to have heart. I can't think of one quarterback that's starting that I can't say doesn't have heart. I mean, it's cliche. It's a cliche. You know, we're looking for all the, you know, the positive things. I get it, y'all. I get it. March to 3-0. My confidence grows in what he does. Sorry, folks. The little 20-year history and let me stop. Let me stop and rewind. I understand that some of you younger generation folks get stuck on, you know, probably at the Mike Vick era and things like that. And like, yeah, everybody just wants it to be like that. You know, it's some of us that got a lot of history with this team. Goes way back before Mike Vick was probably even born. So please don't tell fans how to feel about their team. It's one of the most annoying things. So when people try to oversell Ridder for me, and I'm like, okay. They said that about Dave Archer. Matter of fact, Dave Archer started 4-0. See where your history goes with that one. Dave Archer had a hot start to his career. And that was coming off of the Steve Bartkowski era. So a lot of people thought that was going to happen. Yeah, people thought Jeff George was going to be the next guy. People literally thought Chris Miller was going to be that guy. So I hear everybody wants to create the narrative that everybody, because you don't like Desmond and because you criticize Desmond a little, you're a hater, hater, hater. That's just, yeah. Talk to me. Got clothes older than some of y'all. Larry, the Dixon Way, what's going on, Larry? Y'all make sure y'all check out the Dixon Way live reaction videos of local teams here. I'm sure he will be doing the game this Sunday. Say, what's up, Steve? We have so many weapons. We need to stop worrying about Pitts getting touches. The focus is our running game with Bijan and Tyler and everyone. Everything flows off that. If that, I'm sure you meant flows off that, to be honest. I'm half with you and I'm half saying I understand why people are concerned. You can get to a point. One of the things when we started this season, a lot of people were like, oh, we got so many weapons. The problem with so many weapons is somebody's not going to get fed. And we can say what we want to say, but these young men have egos, man. You talking about Kyle Pitts right now, and he's sitting around watching Hockenson, Kittle, Kelsey, Mark Andrews, and all these folks get paid. And he's looking around and saying, man, this is an offense that's not going to give me that opportunity. Is that fair? Probably not. But tell that to his future earnings. Yeah, so I get it. I get it. You say beauty pageant. Yeah, probably talking about, yeah, I hear you. Millie says he's going to have to run more this week to slow down Hutchinson from feasting on McGarry all week. Yeah, McGarry has. I'm trying to tell you, boy. McGarry. Better tighten up. Q says, I'll be home right after church. Yeah, you just like me. Yeah. Trying to run. I even tried on home games, except for the first game. We got there a little early since it was season opener, but that's what I do. I try to get to church early and then kind of make a quiet exit stage right to get up to the game. But this week I'll stick out in there and just hope we can get out at a reasonable time. Russ says you should do it. It's not that bad. Yeah, I'm not a tattoo guy, man. I'm not. King Richie, what's going on? King said, I'll be at the strip club Diamonds on Northside Drive. That's advertising. I convinced the owner to start keeping the club open on away games on Sunday. We're going to be pulling up with Southern Silk. I got y'all a section. Okay. Well, King, let me make this public announcement. I will not be at Diamonds. You try to break up a happy home, brother. And I will probably make sure I speak for all the other 3 married guys to say it's probably a 99.999% chance that we're not going to be at Club Diamond. But trust me, hey, brother, whatever. King gonna have us all, like all of our wives gonna be looking at this stream talking about, and what was this King Richie talking about? And what section? Oh man, King, you the man, brother. Maddie says 31-24 Dirty Birds. Q says 34-17. David says 27-24. False Start says 27-17 is really interesting. Notice that offense for everyone. I believe that same thing. I think the offense is definitely going to score close to 30. King says the same thing. Says 27-21. Absolutely. Mike, what's going on, man? Mike Thompson said, what's up? Long time. It's cold. Oh, yeah, I know who you are, brother. And miss seeing you lately, but love the team play. Go Falcons. Good. Mike, appreciate you stopping in, brother. Don't be a stranger, man. Good to see you in here. Everything's going well at work. A lot of changes coming up, as I'm sure you've heard already. But good to get to see you holler through, brother. Maddie says, I think Dez is going to have to throw more, and this is his breaking out point. I really think this might be too, Maddie. I think we're going to see a lot more passing opportunities in this game. But the offensive line has to protect. They've got to protect him. Got to. Francis, how you doing? Thank you for joining us in the lounge. Say, hey, Uncle Steve, I'll be up waiting for kickoff and for Kyle to have a big game, 27-13. Falcons. I like it. Love it, love it, love it. Christian says, well, I hope it doesn't come down to a field goal because Koo ain't looking cool. I'll say 24-17 Falcons. Now, in all honesty, Koo, he just missed that extra point. I mean, he hit the other 3 field goals. So I'm not ready to absolutely send him out to pasture. I say other 3 field goals, other 2 field goals. So I'm not ready to totally dump on him yet. It's a 2 or 3. Wait, 3. It was 3. Winston says 27-21 Falcons. I hate when team has injuries. I want there to be no excuse. I said the same thing, brother. I really don't. David says this game has a 100% injury rate. It's part of the game. So you have to factor that into free agency, draft, etc. This is where your scouting department comes. The scouting department has to earn their money. Absolute facts. Absolutely. Terry Ward is here. What's going on, Terry? Good to see you, brother. Maddie says, you're right. In your opinion, who would you take, Dez or Fields? I'm taking that dramatic pause because if y'all fast forward to 2.5 years ago, I'm trying to think, was that in that seat over there? I said Justin Fields. I would be a hypocrite if I said otherwise. And I'm not here to tell you Justin Fields has done a lot. I'm here to tell you if Justin Fields had been drafted in 2021 and learned under Arthur Smith at that time, we may have made the playoffs last year. We may have made it last year. But I have to give Dez the same time that we see what frustrated, man. I just don't think that's going to be a good ending up there at all. Larry says Justin Fields might not have heart, and I'm glad we dodged that bullet along with Deshaun Watson. What if Ritter and Purdy are the 2 best quarterbacks of that class outside of Trevor Lawrence? I said time will tell. And again, one of the things I never like to do with athletes and whatever, got to be careful with that heart stuff. You don't know what's going on with that situation. When I sit up here and tell somebody they don't have heart, yeah, you never know. You don't know what's going on with my situation. I'm just not a shot at you, Larry. I'm just saying, but I hear a lot of people tell people about folks not having heart. You can't see heart. Efforts you can see. So are we saying Kyle Pitts doesn't have heart? He didn't run through some of those routes. Does he have heart? It's fair. We're going to call out somebody else. Heart is it. I'm just not big on, calling people's heart out. That's just me. Knock yourself out. Dub J, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. 330 says, I think the Ritter captain snub was a hey man, but we with you. One of Carolina captains about to get benched. You talking about Bryce with the alleged messed up ankle. Oh no, that's an interesting situation up there too. Yeah, I know a lot of people were trying to defend. Ritter hasn't earned the captain's thing, but I harken back to from the day they named him QB1. What were the superlatives we kept hearing about Desmond? His leadership qualities. He's galvanized the team. He's done this. So I just say be fair. Don't shape it up for your obnoxious narrative. Be fair. Q says, I'm a musician. Dad's the pastor. I wish I could leave her. Oh, yeah, bro. Hey, the musician can't leave. Oh man, your dad gonna get you. You know better than that. Yeah, wait for that benediction, bro. Nando, I gotta find out what church you at. Q. Nando says, "Hey, up 38-20. I love it. Nando, one of those two. He's saying big game." Eric said, "Do you think CP and Okuda will play Sunday?" It sounds like Okuda is gonna play, and crazy that we're saying this now. Troy Anderson is gonna be there, but the CP thing was weird that he was out of practice. I know today, I don't know if they've come out with the last injury reports. I know they usually do around this time. Listed on the practice. If they're not listed on the practice squad, if they're not listed on the practice as a limited or full participant, then more than likely they'll be out. So Q said there's only one team better than the Falcons, and that's all the Atlanta content creators. Y'all do a great job. Q, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. And I'm sure all my brothers and sisters out there doing their job to help, just bring some fun into this thing. And that's what I'm about, man. I'm about fun, rooting on this Falcon team, giving opinions that, everybody, we're not all the same. We're going to have different opinions, but the one thing we do is we love our Falcons. I can say that. Bags is here. What's up, Bags? Just coming in. What did I miss? You did not miss anything, Bags. Give your prediction for me for this Detroit game, this Detroit win we're about to have on Sunday. Shoot that in there for the chat for me. Padre is here. What's going on, man? Say, hey, will Southern Silk, we be doing a Motown review. I see what you did there. Since the team is going to Detroit. I heard Smitty has been working on his Midnight Train to Georgia solo. Can you confirm? I cannot confirm Smitty. So Smitty has made it extremely clear that he wants nothing to do with mic work. And I mean microphone work. So he says he'll be the Kirk Franklin of the group. So so I am gonna say a no from him. However, if you do want to hear some good quality solos, I'll be out front as usual, pushing low to the back. Seba's in the house. What's going on, man? Say, I'm trying to imagine what this team would look like now if we had won the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. Hindsight is a mother. Yes. And again, I raise my hand to Deshaun, to Lamar, because at the time, because our team had not tasted any type of recent success, it's almost like if somebody tells you, okay, you're not going to get a promotion for 4 years, and then I want you to wait another 4 years for the potential for you to get a promotion. That's how I felt it's the Falcons. So they were basically, we hadn't done anything in 5 years. And then they're telling me they want a quarterback and folks to start from scratch and have faith that they're going to do the job. It's hard. It's hard. I don't care what you say or what you presume to know. Realistically, that doesn't happen all the time. Now, could this be the magical story of 2023 in the NFL? Absolutely, it can. And Desmond can shock the world, and I hope he does. Obviously, I do. I'm a Falcon fan first, not a Ritter fan, a Falcon fan, not a Bijan fan, a Falcon fan, not a Pitts fan, a Falcon fan, not an Arthur Smith fan, a Falcon fan. So all of the individuals that collectively make up the team, that's great. But I'm a Falcon fan, first and foremost. RJ says, RJ ATL for life says, up, Uncle Steve. My prediction, wow, he says 33-7. With my X Factor, the tight end group, Kyle Pitts gets an encore performance of 100 yards receiving, while extra help from McGarry covering Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, I hope they do that early too, RJ. Because don't wait till the second half to start making adjustments and all that good stuff. Yeah, let's start, get that protection done early. Because Aiden is a beast. He's somebody that you definitely gonna have to look forward to. Winston says CP and Okuda should be playing Sunday. CP was getting rest yesterday, but I'll reserve a definite until I get today's injury report. Yeah, injury report. That's what I kept trying to say. I kept trying to practice. The injury report. Thank you, Winston. I appreciate that, brother. False Star says, yeah, Pitts doesn't help when his argument by not running his routes, lazy routes. Fair. And that's fair. And if you're trying to get, and everybody's acting like it's going to be automatic that we're going to pick up that fifth-year option. I don't know, y'all. We'll see. King says, I feel like Arthur don't want to use Patterson until late in the season to keep him somebody fresh in the stable. What do you think? It's a good thought. And I hear what you're saying. With the young guys that are probably, want to burn off some of those carries, and to have somebody like him that you can bring in, what would you say, King? Maybe about game 9 or 10 and start kind of taking the load. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that philosophy at all. Not at all. Drew says Okuda needs to make sure Flowers is on the bench. I think this is a very winnable game for us. Woo, my man Flowers, boy, he was the talk of last week for the wrong reasons. Man, God bless him though, y'all. He was here when Okuda wasn't. So, False Start says, yes, Pitts does help his argument by running his routes. Bag says, I give us 35-17. People saying we can't put up 30 plus, but for one, Carolina and Green Bay have better defenses than Detroit. And two, we could have put up 30 on the Packers last week. We actually could have put up. I mean, remember, y'all, we left some points out there in that game. I think we easily could have put up 30 on the Packers. And I also agree with you. I think we played two better defenses in Carolina and Packers than we're going to play this week in Detroit. I'm more afraid of what Detroit's offense is going to do. This is the first probably pure, even though Goff has some athleticism, but this is the first pure passer that we're playing this year. So I'm a little concerned about the secondary. And I got to have my buddy AJ to catch interceptions, brother. It's one thing to defend. I got to have you catch the ball. Got to. Love what you're doing on defense. Killing it. But boy, it's so crucial if you can step in front and make it. But you see the on the replay, AJ perfectly cut in front of the wide receiver. And man, you can just see Arthur Smith's face like, ah! Yeah, but AJ's been doing a great job so far, man. But this is the test, though. This is going to be a test. Drew says 10 high-paid quarterbacks are doing the same thing or worse than Ritter this year, including Joe Burrow getting paid $55 million this year and has less yards than Ritter. Yeah, 2 games, folks. Hold your horses. Kansas City started last year 1-2, if I'm not mistaken. It was either 1-2 or 1-3. It was something they started off low. Slow down. It's so convenient to put that out. So with that thought process, we're saying that Joe Burrow is not. So in other words, Desmond Ritter's 2-0 is going to mean he's better than Burrow's 0-2 just because they play. I don't know what to tell y'all when y'all do stuff like that. I hear you, but I'll take Joe Burrow 11 times out of 10 over Desmond Ridder. Sorry. That's just the facts. I want the man to win, but sometimes y'all really are reaching for narratives that I don't know. Maybe you're trying. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh man, Dallas Cowboys is in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing, brother? Yeah, them Cowboys out to a nice start, but hey, gotta finish the job. Gotta finish the job. You know as well as I do. Dak will tease you for the first half of the year. You know that as well as I do. Big Low Country Sports says Uncle Steve is a Big Low Country Southern Silk lead singer. Wow. He's a lead singer. Absolutely. Thank you, Big Low. I appreciate that. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. Some people may have thought I left some stuff out there, but I didn't. Billy Bill says no matter how people look at it, either way, we was going to have to develop a quarterback. I just support Ritter because the dude knows the playbook and he's getting adjusted to the NFL speed. If we get a rookie, we start over. All of that is facts. And I'm so glad he put it that way. We had no other choice unless we were going to pay high money for a free agent quarterback, see Lamar Jackson, but we didn't. So the absolute smartest thing to do was throw all of our eggs in the Desmond Ritter hype train and let's ride with that. And so far, so good. 2 games out of 17. So far, so good. We hope it keeps going, obviously. But guess what, folks? And when you start talking about earlier, Drew, if Desmond Ritter goes 11-6, wins a playoff game, or comes close to the NFC Championship, guess what Desmond Ritter's agents are going to do? Because they dang sure ain't going to play for $1 million next year. So that's why I say when we go to Joe Burrow's getting $55 million and he's 0-2. Yeah, right. I'll make that trade yesterday. So it's just always a funny narrative, man. 330 says, our coaches have shown that they can adjust after halftime, but can they give us a faster start? Man, that's legit. That's legit. And I guess I would rather finish strong than I want a healthy balance. But I guess I'd rather want to have strength on the fourth quarter than others. But you're going to come to a game where you might have a team that has more than a 12-point lead on you. What happens then? Seba says 27-24, we'll pull off a late field goal for the victory. Q says that's why we need Jeff Goff. Will kill Flout. Yeah, man. Yeah, Trey is absolutely a liability. Glad he was here for the liability. Ms. B says exactly, Uncle Steve. They'll be reaching with these crazy narratives. And a lot of times, and I know Miss B, I watch you, and I see you when you were talking during the off season. I hear her. Don't sell me magic beans and just tell me they're gonna grow into a beanstalk. I gotta see it. I'm not ready to just believe what you say just because you yelled it louder. I don't know. I'm sorry. And again, to my, folks out there who fly the Ritter flag so high, I'm just saying, y'all, they said that about a lot of quarterbacks in this history. 2023, I hope it's different. I know. And it is funny because, some people get mad because you don't believe in them. Y'all want the Falcons to lose. No, we don't. We're just not yelling like you. Y'all crazy for like that. No, we're just calmer and cooler and smarter. That's all. It's just crazy to me, man. It's just crazy. Winston says we definitely could have hung 30 on the Packers. The underthrow on the flea flicker on point. Wow. Would have been 6. Hollins was behind Savage till he had to come back for the ball at the goal line. 3 plays. It's funny, Winston, if you go back and listen like I did, obviously I was at the game, and I came back and I watched that play when they did it. When the ball flipped to Desmond, you heard Jonathan Vilma, and can I get a collection to get Jonathan Vilma off of all Atlanta games? Please. Can we get Mike Vick up in the booth? Or somebody else? Jonathan. Yeah. Anyway, but when the ball got flipped to Desmond, you heard Vilma say, he either said he's open, he's there, before Desmond threw that ball. And I saw that in Matt. Thank goodness, Matt. Give Matt all credit. That should have been one of 2 big plays for him. Matt had to come back for that ball. Folks, I'm not saying, yeah, we won the game. It's all that. I get it. But yeah, Desmond, you got to throw that thing out there, bro. That was dude had a chance to run up to the ball. And I realized it was 3rd down, so you were trying to get it right. I get all that, but crazy. Bag says, I do agree. Golf is nice and definitely underrated, but I trust our back 7 against their beat-up offense. I hope so. King says, we left 15 points on the field just in the first half, so we damn near would have put up 40 on the Packers, for real. That's facts. Facts. Bag says, plus no Montgomery. Gibbs can't and won't carry them on the ground. Yeah, I just say be careful about that. I like Gibbs, man. Gibbs is nice. And this may be his chance now that he's not sharing the load. I just don't want to underestimate some of these young cats, man. Gibbs is nice. Drew says, Falcons are a tough team to beat in the 4th if we are down. We have a hard team to stop if we go for it on 4th down with Bijan, Algier, and even Ritter. Ritter rises up in 4th. I hope so. Billy says, I just heard Dan Campbell's press conference, and he said we're a violent team with explosive abilities. They want to run, and it doesn't matter if you're prepared for it. Not. They're going to wear you down. Here's the other thing, Millie, and I heard that same press conference. That's his whole vocabulary. They're tough, they're rugged, they're bricks, they're rocks, they're... And it sounded like the cat in Dallas running the defense. Same speak. Same talk. That's why I'm just not a Dan Campbell fan, man. And I remember when he used to be with the Saints. He was a tough dude. And granted, he was 9-8 last year, so I'm gonna give him his props, but I'm just not ready to make him that guy yet. Scott says, I like Ritter's character, and just like someone said, Ritter is the guy until he ain't. Oh, man. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. And I want the conversation, and it always ends up twisting here because I'm going to always follow the chat and what we're talking about. So, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. His character seems to be what this team needs, and you're right. Until Ritter is the guy, until he ain't. Absolutely. Does that mean I am forced to say when I'm going up against Detroit, he's a better quarterback than Goff? No. Am I forced to say Ritter's trajectory is going to follow that of Jalen Hurts or Russell Wilson or other non-first round picks? No. His story still has yet to be written. And I just think this fast forward gear, this pedal that we're trying to push so fast to make him be the best is a little premature. That's all. You know why we're winning right now? We're into that now because we have a better defense. We have a really good running game. And Dez isn't making mistakes. That doesn't mean I have to that doesn't mean me or any other predominantly longtime Falcon fans have to admit that your savior is here and he's DR9. No. We've seen this movie over and over again. I am happy Dez is doing what he's doing. And I hope this lasts all season because it feels good. It feels awesome. And I love it. I'm loving the way this team is playing. I love the fans last week. Man, if y'all in the bins, just you haven't heard it that loud in years. Years. Last decade. Except for SEC championship games. And maybe Taylor Swift concerts that Big Lo goes to. Aside of that, you know, it's oh man. Eric says Holland's height is what saved Ritter on that flea picker. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Absolutely. But you got to give Hollis a lot of credit, man. They already stole a touchdown from him. Hollis a bad boy. And we were worried about that second receiver, remember? That was one of the main things we were talking about off season. Winston says Gibbs is underrated. We need to get him in the ground before he can get the edge and get up to speed. Otherwise, I don't think anyone in our back seven can catch him in open field. Outside, maybe Troy and AJ. I tell y'all, Gibbs is a speed guy, man. He's a speed guy. Big time. Be careful. But B says, why do folks have to keep reiterating that? I think we know he is the guy for now. We do watch the games. Stop trying to convince yourself. She's right. She's right. These folks love players, not the team. I root for the team. And I got my favorites, but they will get criticized as well if needed. I need to start pinning these comments up here because there's nothing she said in these last two bubbles that were incorrect. I'm team Falcon. Yeah, I got tired of me. People got tired of me this summer. I've heard people respond. Say, I root for the brand. Always root for the brand. To her point, are there certain people that I say, yeah, they're pretty good. But I'm a Falcons guy. I'm a Falcons guy. I got jerseys because they have the Falcons on them. I don't even know what Ritter is going to turn out to be. But I'm a Falcons guy. Bottom line. Antonio, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. Bag says, you're right, Unc. As long as Ritter continues to be and becomes an elite game manager that can use his legs and limits mistakes, the sky's the limit for him and our team as a whole. That's a very good point. His athleticism actually helped us out in the fourth quarter as well. So that's good. Terry, what's up, Terry? Terry said, dang, you gonna whoop on Ritter and question him his whole dang career. It kills me. We taking low shots, low key shots at our QB1. Terry. Where is the defense of Caleb McGarry when he is not blocking? Where's the defense of Trey Flowers when he's not covering well? Terry, I don't want you to get in your feelings about it, brother. But you got to realize, dude, you are open for criticism. Folks, Patrick Mahomes is open for criticism. Aaron Donald is open for criticism. Justin Jefferson is open for criticism. Y'all take that way too personal. Not crapping on your quarterback. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think, what have I even said that craps on? But you see, because there isn't that Ritter, he's something else. He's gonna be the best. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's just a gene I don't possess. I'm kind of glad I don't. Where I go through life with blinders on. And I'm not saying you particular, Terry, because there are a great amount of people that think this way, and I appreciate your opinion. I disagree with it. Nobody's crapping on it. He's getting fair critique. Now, if y'all can't handle that, then that's personal. But I'm not going to be the only one. Why do you all think Ritter isn't getting love outside the Atlanta area? Folks haven't seen it. Folks don't know his heart, his leadership capabilities. They don't know that. Matter of fact, I dare you. There are people that probably hadn't even seen the fourth quarter of the game and probably said, man, how did they beat Jordan Love? Like Jordan Love has arrived, which he hasn't. But I love the narrative, man. I love that y'all do this. And I'm not saying y'all. There's a certain amount of folks that feel the same way. And I appreciate that, though, Terry. For real. I'm going to always respect opinions. But I just disagree with you. Nobody's crapping on Ritter. Nobody's crapping on him. If he threw that ball out there and that ball would have been a touchdown for Mac Hollis, he'd get some love. That pass he threw to Kyle Pitts, if that would have been laid out there where he could have kept running, there'd be some love. It would. You got to earn it, though. You got to earn that mystique. Jalen Hurts didn't come in that first year starting and everybody was saying MVP that year. You got to go through some things. So you got to go through that. Larry says, we all want to win. Some are just more passionate about players and being right. Yeah, this is true. Cue the Sesame Street music. Yeah, there is a great urge for people to be right. And which is crazy to me. Told y'all. If y'all listen to me, I told y'all. See, I was right. I told y'all. Okay. So you told us. Y'all crazy. Ms. B says, y'all don't think the Buffalo fans criticize y'all? Oh, my God. Oh, there are folks that's ready. There are folks in that fan base ready to get rid of him. We just only see it because we're close to Atlanta. And I respect the pom-pom flying folks that think Desmond can do no wrong and everything a fan criticizes is we don't know football and we never played the game and we never did this. I laugh at y'all, though. I knew Travis was coming soon. Why is it okay for Desmians to take shots at everyone in this team, but as soon as Ritter is criticized, it's World War III? Yeah, man. That's what it is. I've heard Trey Flowers messed up. Caleb McGarry messed up. Before he got hurt, Troy Anderson was doing nothing. Caden Ellis was getting beat. You hear all of that narrative, but say something about Mr. Ritter and all of a sudden, crazy. Smart Rod, what's going on, man? Said great show, but we keep ignoring this play calling and personnel decisions at middle linebacker. We winning on edge. Yeah, that's true. And you've been bringing that up. You brought that up in the past too. Yeah, the play calling has to be questioned, especially in the first half. We shouldn't have had to come back last week, in my opinion. We shouldn't have. Antonio says Desmond has more to prove. Heck, the jury's still out on Brock Purdy. Absolutely true. The jury is still out on Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Desmond Ritter, the three rookie quarterbacks, Sam Howell. And I think it's kind of crazy because the NFL is going through a true transition. You know, along with Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, about to be Russell Wilson if he keeps performing like he does. That era is leaving, and we're ushering in a new. Now, can Desmond Ridder be one of the lions of this new group? Absolutely. But you can't put the throne on him 2 games in. Let it do it. Matter of fact, enjoy the ride with the Falcons winning. Falcons don't win without that run game. Falcons don't win last week without Desmond Ridder doing athletic things on his feet. But it's a whole thing. It's not just a Desmond thing. King says, I see what you did there. Where was the justice for Mayfield? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Y'all pretty much got him out of town. Every mistake Mayfield had people celebrating when the brother got cut. Crazy, man. But true. Ms. B saying Josh Allen is a proven quarterback, but I hear Buffalo fans criticize him as well. King Richard says Jalen Hurts was straight trash his first year, which he was. Antonio says, LOL, look at the Bears. They might be looking for a quarterback. Yeah, that's self-inflicted too. I bet he wants to go back to that press conference. Scott says, I'm not a player guy, and I don't care who gets crapped on. As long as they do what's best for the team, I'm good. Absolutely perfect. Because I love what I was the first to tell you last week from my eyes. I'm not speaking for everybody else. I was the first one to tell you, we don't win that game if Desmond was the quarterback last week. We don't. We don't. You don't win that game if he wasn't that man. Bob Jeter, what's on, man? Say, what if the pass to Hollins was overthrown? Would y'all then question Ritter's accuracy? Here's the problem in the lands of what if. We don't know because it wasn't overthrown. It was very, very, very underthrown. I hear your logic and I see what you're trying to do, but you can't go to the what if because the ball was underthrown. Matter of fact, you know what, Bob? Let's see if the ball could have been overthrown and see if Matt could have caught up with it. But being underthrown, you almost gave the cornerback, thank God he was a little shorter, you almost gave the quarterback an opportunity to make a play. So that's just a fair assessment, y'all. That's fair. But I appreciate the question. Bag says, some people even question Justin Herbert. Absolutely. All these quarterbacks are young and under the age of 30, and they all still have room to grow and learn. Just depends on the HC and the stuff that's teaching them. And again, y'all, think about the folks that just left. It's fair. We're all new. Think about the teams. I'm just trying to run real quick through the teams. New England, Mac Jones is fairly new. Zach Wilson is fairly new. And I know he kind of inherited the job this year. Joe Burrows is not that old. It's what, 4th year or whatever. Kenny Pickett is not new. I mean, is new, I should say. Trevor Lawrence is relatively new. I'm just trying to go down this list. Indianapolis, new. Houston, new. AFC West, I think that might be the only. Well, yeah, that might be the only ones who is all veterans, pretty much. I guess Herbert is close to being new or whatever. But look at all those new quarterbacks, man. We got to get all those folks a chance, man. Antonio said, what's your biggest concern facing the Lions? What the defense is going to do? I think this is our biggest offensive challenge, even with the injuries. I think this is a big offensive challenge, a defensive challenge, I should say, for the Falcons. I like Gibbs, man. I like Brown and Jared Goff again. this is probably one of those cases where you're really going to have to put some pressure on that cat, because I think he's one of those guys that might be able to pick us apart. Eric says, we need to beat Detroit because I believe the Saints will lose to Green Bay. Same here. Bucks will lose to Philly. Absolutely. And Carolina will lose to Seattle. Put a little asterisk there. I'll be back. That will put us a game ahead of Tampa and New Orleans. 3 games ahead of Carolina. I'm going to tell you something. Eric, I got a sneaky suspicion Carolina is going to play much better with Andy Dalton there. Thielen is going to have a game. I really do. I think they are going to play. I'm not telling you they're going to go to the West Coast and win. Andy Dalton is going to stunt this year's. If he comes out and shows up in the Seattle game, they're not going to rush to put Bryce out there the rest of the year. I must admit, folks, I was wrong about Bryce. I thought he would be a little bit, but now granted, New Orleans defense, they're a little bit better than I thought. But he just looked like a baby in that game. He really did. He really did. David says, why do Falcon fans think the guy drafted in the 7th round is supposed to get a chance to develop into an all-pro? Hey, man. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It is. But again, I'm not trying to tell people they're wrong, but it's fair to talk about it. It's fair to critique it. And some of y'all don't know how to have healthy, and talking about me yelling at you and telling you how stupid, idiotic, and all of that stuff. That's not healthy. That's you being a character. I'm talking about being able to have healthy conversation about, other teams and stuff like that. Ms. B says, then all the new quarterbacks you named were all taken in the 1st round. Our new quarterback was taken in the 3rd round. So most fans are just on the fence about how good he can be compared to the others. When we go back and look, Ms. B, from the folks that were in the yesteryear, with the exception of Tom Brady, and you can throw Russell in there, the majority of those quarterbacks were 1st round. And there's not a natural thing to say, well, we got him in the 3rd round. He's going to be a steal. Not at quarterback. We say that at running back. We say that at wide receiver. We say it on defensive positions. We say it's rare that folks grab somebody in the 3rd round or 4th round as a quarterback and say, that's my future quarterback. That's why we're on the fence. That's why. It's not a matter of folks just absolutely, crapping on some of the dialogue out there about Ritter not being the guy. I want Ritter to be the guy. Matter of fact, I want him to be the best guy for this team. But at this point, I'll take Ritter. I'll take Heineke. I'll take anybody who's going to make this offense better. And right now, that's Ritter. So guess what? Rise up and we're going to do it. Absolutely. Bag says Bryce just isn't ready yet. He should definitely take the Jordan Love route and sit behind a vet for a year or two to learn how to be a pro and make progressions as an NFL quarterback. Problem is, Bags, it's a difference between sitting behind Aaron Rodgers and sitting behind Andy Dalton. I would have loved. Matter of fact, you know what? Even if Bryce Young came back and sat behind Matt Ryan, that would be better. Eric says, I can agree to some extent with Dalton. He needs weapons other than Hayden Hurst. The coach for Carolina should not have started Bryce Young this year. I agree with that. I agree. Terry says, seasoning doubt throughout the fan base just isn't healthy. Just saying. Who's doubt about what? Yeah, but Terry, I can't make you agree with me any more than you can make me agree with you. I can't make you think Desmond Ritter is average any more than you think Desmond Ritter is the next all pro. I can't make you think whatever you want to. That's the beauty of these. That's the beauty of these platforms. I wholeheartedly disagree with you. Nobody's seasoning doubt. I'm just telling you things I'm concerned about. You might be concerned about other things, and that's fine. And that's Terry. And that's cool. But I mean, it is what it is, man. If we go out there amongst my section where I sit, it's when Ritter threw the interception, and keep it in mind, we can't keep two eyes on two different places at one time. Man, you heard some people out there booing. Now, granted, I didn't see him go get hit, but people are going to think what they want to think. And in a 3-hour game, and I've said this several times before, there are so many stories in a 3-hour segment. You can go from being back in the day, the GOAT used to be a bad thing, but you could be a heel. You could be the lowest of the low, but there were smatterings of boos. I don't boo my home team. I just think I do stand on that. I'll never boo my team. I'll boo the mess out of the other team. But there are people out there that feel like sometimes they don't perform the stuff. What you gonna do? Go fight the 10,000 people? And I say fight, but go verbally spar with the 10,000 people that have a different opinion? Yeah, everybody's not gonna think the same. They're not. And I think that's healthy. That's in football, sports, life, politics, whatever it is. People not going to think the same. I am definitely not one who believes in the hive mind theory where everybody needs to think alike. I am a Falcon fan, true and true, and I'm never going to doubt your passion as a fan. But don't ever tell me how to be a fan. Don't ever tell me how I should not criticize if I feel like criticizing. That's when you get into an issue. It's ridiculous. There are platforms where y'all can play that game and do the everybody else is stupid. They don't like Ritter. They don't like this. Y'all can do that, and that's fine. There are places for them. This isn't one of them. I love my Falcons, and I hope the Falcons are successful. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to end on that. I had to end on a down note. I didn't give my prediction this week. My prediction is going to be, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I do think the Falcons are going to take advantage of some of the injuries that Detroit has this week. I'm looking for a squeak-out game. Falcons 34, Detroit 30. I do think we probably get a little bit better of a head start. I'm pretty sure the guys are going to try their best to get out there. And I'm telling you, if we get a head start, Detroit might be in trouble. But I look for the Falcons to win 34-30 this Sunday. Again, appreciate y'all joining me on the Friday brunch. If you get a chance to, please hit the like button on the way out on YouTube or on Facebook, just to make sure we get this thing out there so people can be able to see the content. Appreciate everybody, no matter whether we agree, disagree. I love the platform that can take everybody in and respectfully have a conversation instead of, you're this, you're horrible. I don't do all that. You want to go, there are places for that. Go knock yourself out. Here, you want to have mature talk to me like a young lady, young man, and do what you got to do. That's where your ump's house. That's where this is. That's what we do here. Until then, man, we'll catch y'all definitely on the Monday Minutia at 6 o'clock on Monday. And we'll talk on one of the platforms after the game. Hopefully these Falcons go to 3-0 and have a nice little week before we head off to London next weekend. Until then, y'all take care, man. Appreciate y'all coming in. Y'all be good. Peace.